Hey everyone, this is Charmine from Fantastic Crafts. I hope all of you had a wonderful new year. I do want to give a little reminder. I am going to be having 3 new videos a week. I'm going to be having a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday video. For details, please check the description box below. I will have more in detail about exactly what those videos will be. So today, since it's Monday, we will be making a card, and I'm going to be making this adorable little bunny card that says, "You are my favorite person to laugh with." The first thing I'll be doing is cutting my cardstock. 2 of them are going to be navy and 2 are going to be white. The first navy is going to be 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. The second navy cardstock will be 1 7/8 by 2 7/8. The first white, which is going to be the sentiment piece, is going to be 2 1/4 by 3/8. And the second, which is the one I'm going to be stamping the bunny on, is going to be 2 1/4 by 1 1/2. Okay, so now that most of the measurements are out of the way, now it's the fun part. So I simply took the 2 1/4 by 1 1/2 piece of cardstock that was white, and I took the ink Real Red from Stampin' Up. And as you know, these ink pads can be used as watercoloring too. So I use that often because I don't really have a watercolor set just yet. So I love using my Stampin' Up ink pads as double duty and just using it as my ink pad, or I'm sorry, watercolor pad as well. So I go ahead and I take my aqua brush. I use the fine tip, because the fine tip actually it's such a small little bunny or rabbit that you having the fine tip aqua brush is much easier to get into the small spaces. And I just go ahead and I just make where I want it to be darker, which is usually the outline. I outline the whole image with the darker tone, and then when I want to make it lighter, all I do is squeeze that aqua brush just a little bit more and take a little more water and dilute that ink to be a lighter shade. And once I do that, I just fill the whole bunny in, and it's that simple. This is my lazy way of watercoloring, and it's the best way. With 2 kids, you got to do what you got to do, and I want to be in the craft room and not stress about it. So this is what I do. I did want to mention one more thing. To clean the Stampin' Up pad is very, very easy. All you do is you just take that aqua brush, put a few drops of that water, and just clean it off with a dry rag or a baby wipe. And it's that simple, and it's completely clean. Once I was done with that, I just simply took another Stampin' Up pad, the Pacific Point, and I did the same exact thing. I just colored it in with that blue, and I kind of shaded it by putting more or less water. I'm not sure why my camera stopped recording, but I did take that 2 1/4 by 3 1/8 white cardstock, and I did stamp the sentiment on that. I also took my glitter pen and just put a little bit of shimmer all over this bunny, just because I wanted to add a little bit of extra shimmer. And I tried to make it so where you guys can see that shimmer. It really adds a lot of depth into this little bunny, because it is a rather simple bunny, so it kind of adds that little bit of oomph. And then I just took that and placed it onto my blue cardstock, and then was my first blue cardstock, the smallest one. Then I decided I wanted to put a few stitch lines on it because I love stitches. And so I did that. I also took this little green ribbon I had in my stash, and I just put that to give another layer of dimension on my card. And I just placed it, and I thought it would be a nice little pop of color. This card has mostly the blues, but that green just really highlights and makes your eye focus on this little bunny or rabbit, which is adorable. I also decided to pop this bunny panel or a little layer up, so I just used some 3D dimensionals to attach that. And then I decided I wanted to also pop up my my sentiments, so I simply just did the same thing. I cut my dimension foams, which are in rectangular shape. I just cut that smaller and then put that and attached it to my card panel. And then I took a cardstock white layering, actually not a layering cardstock, this is actually my card base, and as always I cut it in half, so it makes a A2 size card. And I just scored that, and then I press it down with my bone folder and then attach that panel onto the front, and it had that really nice, very, very, very tiny little white border around it. Of course, once again, I decided I wanted to add stitches around that layer because I feel like that always completes the card. And there you have it, folks. This is a real simple, fun card to make. It had nothing fancy. It was just me playing in my craft room because it's Monday and card making is fun. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to catch you guys soon. Bye!